Hi, I'm Teresa. This is going to be a 45-minute beginner mat Pilates class. I am going to offer you modifications and progressions, so this is really an all-level class. Just know that there is an option for you in this workout. So all you need is a mat, and if you have one handy, a little hand towel will be perfect, and you'll know why once we get into the movement. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. And we're going to start on hands and knees, quadruped. So hands and knees, we want to stack our shoulders over our wrists and our hips over our knees. Get those shoulders out of your ears. And then we're going to go in and out of cat-cow. So I want you to take a big inhale. And as you inhale, you're going to arch your back and you're going to open your chest. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck the pelvis and round your spine up to the ceiling. Inhaling as you come through center, those shoulders stay out of our ears. And exhale as you tuck the pelvis and round up to the ceiling. Again, inhale through center, find your cow. Exhale, tuck and round, big scared Halloween cat. One more of each. Inhale, cow. Exhale, tuck and round into your cat. And then you're going to meet me in your neutral spine. So not having a big round spine and not arching, but really keeping just whatever that neutral position feels like. So you have your core just lightly engaged. We're going to float our right toes off the floor. Your knee stays down. We're going to go right into wagged tail. So that foot's going to rotate out to the right side and you're going to look over that right shoulder. So your right side's in flexion, your left side's getting a little stretch. And then you're going to bring it through center, off to the left side, looking over your left shoulder. And then again, just back through center and off to the left, trying to maintain that neutral spine. So when you do this, you don't end up in your like cow position where your butt's up to the ceiling and your back is arched. Keep your back nice and flat. We're stretching one side of the ribs, those obliques, and getting a little flexion on the other side. One more to each side here. Back to center. Those toes are going to rest on the floor. Left toes float off of the mat. And again, if you feel like your belly is sinking for the floor, pull belly button in towards your spine and up towards your ribs. Okay, left toes are off the mat. We rotate foot off to the left side, looking over that left shoulder, and through center, off to the right, looking over the right shoulder. Back stays flat. Just that side to side rotation. Making sure you're just maintaining a breath. Don't have to think about it too hard. I just don't want you to hold your breath. One more to each side. Back to center. Toes can come down. And then let's for a second just stretch the left wrist in the opposite direction. Back of your hand is flat to the mat. And then your right wrist. And if this is ever too uncomfortable, you guys are welcome to go fists down. That way your wrists stay in a long straight line and they're not flexed or extended. And if that feels better, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we stay in quadruped, so shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, pulling your belly button in and up. Tuck your toes, and then you're going to just lift your knees off the mat and drop them back down to the floor. And a lift and a lower. And again, this is a lot of shoulder stability, but your core is picking up towards the ceiling, and you only have to come off the mat about 2 to 3 inches. Doesn't have to be super high. We go 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees can come down, flatten the toes, send the hips back, little child's pose. Reach the arms nice and long. Okay. Arms are out, palms are down on the mat. We're going to roll through the spine, coming over, shoulders over wrists. And then I want you to tuck the pelvis under and bring your hips down to the mat and lower your chest by bending the elbows. Take a big inhale. You're gonna find back extension, lift up, and then when your arms become straight, you're gonna push your hips back over your heels, child's pose. Roll through the spine, coming up forward, little plank, modified plank. Lower the thighs, the hips, elbows bend as you bring it down. Inhale, lift, push up, send the hips back. Okay, we come back, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, but I want you to inch your way up towards the top of your mat for me. Okay, hands are down, or fists. We're again stacked, belly button is not reaching for the floor. We have that engagement of the core. Tuck the toes. We're gonna come into our knee hover, and you're welcome to stay here the entire time. Otherwise, you're gonna walk out into your plank and then walk back into the knee hover. And if you can, you wanna alternate what foot starts to do the step out and to step in. If you can think about it, we wanna challenge your brain. But in and out of your plank position. 2 more. Okay, and then walk the knees in, bring the knees down, and just come off the wrists for a second, roll them out. If you need a break at any time, and I don't cue it, please take a break. Listen to your body. You just take the rest you need. And then when you're ready, you get right back into it. All right. Now, hands come back down. Walk the knees back. We're going to mobilize the shoulder blades a little bit. So again, we stay in quadruped. Our belly button is pulled in and up, so we're active. Shoulders are out of our ears. Your arms are going to stay straight. You're going to lower your chest towards the mat by pulling your shoulder blades to your spine. And then you're going to press away from the mat, bringing your shoulder blades away from the spine. Good. Okay, what I don't want to end up happening is that your belly reaches for the floor so that you can get down, or you're sinking into your shoulders up to your ears. No, they go straight back and straight out. Okay, but your core stays active. When your belly starts reaching for the mat, your core is no longer engaged. You don't have to think about it too much, but we do think like you're pulling, again, in and up, and hold it. But shoulder blades, we just move the shoulder blades nice and easy. We just go 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're gonna start to get into some opposite arm and leg work. So both hands are gonna stay down to start. Right knee is gonna hover off the mat. Again, core is picked in and up. We're gonna extend that right leg out behind us, but when we're in extension here, we are not arching our back. Again, core has to stay active in order to save it from your low back. So knee's gonna bend in, and then you're gonna kick out, and you wanna squeeze the top of the glute as you extend out, in and out. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. And we do our best to keep those hips squared off to the floor, where that right hip isn't opening up to the ceiling, but this is smooth and controlled. Okay, let's kick that leg out to straight. Legs stay straight, toes tap. Squeeze the glute to lift the leg. Toes tap, squeeze the glute to lift the leg. Toes tap, squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee in, send the hips back. Just a quick little stretch of that right glute. Come back up. Now we're gonna add some balance. Let's extend our left arm straight ahead, okay? Opposite arm and leg. So your right leg is gonna extend out. Again, we're not arching our back. Core has to be active. Start with just the knee. Knee can pull in, and you can round your back a little bit, and then kick out. And then when you have it, elbow comes to that knee, round the back, extend all the way out, squeeze the glute, don't arch the back. We pull in, elbow towards knee, inhale, lengthen. Lengthen. Energy is through your entire body. Toes, fingertips extend. Just 3, 2, 1. Find that extension and hold. Core is picked up and we balance for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands and knees can come down. Send the hips back for a moment. Child's pose. Nice job, you guys. But guess what? We have 2 sides. So let's come back up. Okay. Quadruped, we're on all 4s. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Left knee is going to hover off of the mat. Okay. We extend the leg out behind us, squeeze the glute. I can tell my left hip is lifted a little, so square it off to the mat. Knee bends down towards the mat. Kick out, squeeze the glute. Okay. Your knee is almost going to tap the mat. That way we know your hips are still squared off. If your knee is nowhere close to the mat, more than likely, your hip is opened out to the side a little bit. So the more squared off to the floor, the more likelihood you're going to tap that mat. Okay, again, squeeze the glute, don't arch the back for 3, 2. We extend that left leg out straight, leg stay straight, tap the toes to the floor, squeeze the glute to lift, tap, lift, square those hips off, tap, lift, don't arch the back, pull your core together, 4, 3, 2, 1, bend the knee, take a quick step back. We come right back forward and we add the balance challenge. So right arm is going to extend out long. Left leg extends out long. Again, our core is picked up. We are not arching our back. This is going to hurt your back, okay? Pull in and up. And then start with the knee. Pull the knee in, round the back. Extend. When you feel good about your balance, add the elbow. Elbow comes to knee. Round the back, extend. When we extend, we squeeze the glute. We don't arch the back. We lengthen. 4, 3, 2. Last one, come out and hold. We hold that balance for 10. Pick up your belly button. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand comes down. Let's go feet together, knees wide. And again, we sit back into that child's pose. Take a second. Nice job, you guys. Take a few big breaths. When you're ready, come up. Let's get a quick sip of water. And we're going to make our way to sitting. Okay? All right. We're sitting. Knees are bent. Nope. Legs are straight. And you're welcome to have your feet flexed or toes pointed. Whatever makes you feel more grounded to the floor, all right? Also, if you are somebody who has a really, really arched low back, we're gonna do some roll downs. If when you tuck your pelvis under and you roll down, if your back, your low back doesn't connect to the mat, and instead there's a gap there, so when you lift, your back doesn't connect, because what we want is your low back to touch the mat so that you can use it to lift. If you're somebody who cannot get your low back down to do this, grab a towel. I'll show you. Sorry, quick little prep here. You grab a towel, doesn't have to be huge, but you want to roll it up. And essentially, if you are someone whose back doesn't connect, this is going to help meet you where you are. It does not mean you're cheating. It does not mean anything negative. It just means you don't connect to the floor, and I want you to. So that little roll is going to go where your low back would generally come down. So where your sacrum is going to be. So that way when you tuck and lower, you have connection to something because we put something under there, and then you can control as you go all the way down. And then as you lift, your low back is able to, again, connect to that little lifted floor to come up. Now, if that doesn't help, it should. Okay. Otherwise, And if you don't know if that's you or not, try without it. And then if you're like, wow, I can't get up or down, give it a try. Find a towel and do that. All right, let's get going. Also, during this series, I am more concerned with how slowly you roll down. If you can't get up, for the life of you, if you can't get up, I want you to use your arms to push up and then focus on the roll down, okay? That roll down is gonna build a lot more core strength. Sit up nice and tall. Back is as flat as you can. Big inhale. You're gonna tuck the pelvis under. Use your glutes. Roll your low back, your sacrum down to the mat first, okay? And then vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale as arms reach overhead. Exhale, float the arms. Start to tuck the chin, okay? Low back is pressing into the mat to help you lift. And let's reach over the toes. Big inhale. And exhale, we tuck. We lower down. Slow, 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 slow. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we roll back up. Reach, inhale, stack. Exhale, tuck. Lower, 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 as controlled as you can. Again, the roll down, as slow and controlled as you can. Our core is in the eccentric movement, meaning our abdominals are in contraction, and when we roll down, the muscles are lengthening while we roll down, okay? Because when we're rolling up, they're in flexion, and we come up, but that roll down, take your time. Take your time. The better you can get at rolling down without your feet lifting. Inhale, reach. Exhale, it's not about momentum. It's about control, okay? Let's get 2 more. And we're not flinging our arms around. But again, if you're having a hard time in both directions, tuck that little rolled up towel underneath your low back. It is going to help you. It's going to make a world of difference, okay? 1 more. All the way back up. Okay? And then I want you just to meet me down on the ground. Last one. All the way down. All right. You're all the way down. Arms are going to come down by your sides. Let's walk your feet in. So feet are more underneath your knees. And we were already doing pelvic tilts, but now we're going to do that in terms of pre-Pilates. So we're going to warm up the spine and the pelvic floor and the pelvis a little bit. So we're not lifting into our bridge yet, just your pelvic tilts. So you're going to take an inhale. And as you inhale, maybe your low back lifts away from the mat a little bit. Doesn't have to, but a little bit. And then as you exhale, you want to press that low back into that lifted area to tuck. And then inhale, release. And if your release just brings you to your neutral pelvis, that's totally fine. I like to find a little extension. And exhale, tuck. And we do want to try to pair our breath with this. So take a big inhale as your pelvis rolls away from you. And then as you exhale, you're closing the ribs, you're tucking the pelvis under, you're feeling your core start to turn on a little bit. And inhale, release. I have a few pieces of imagery I want to talk us through. That way, if you're at home and you're not quite understanding what this is supposed to feel like, this maybe will help you a little bit more. So when you're laying flat on the mat, you're in your more or less your neutral pelvis, okay? So your sit bones, the bony parts of your butt, when we're laying in this position, they are more or less pointing towards your heels, okay? On your inhale, you want to think about rolling your pelvis away from you a little bit so those sit bones point more towards the mat than your heels. And then as you exhale, you roll back through center and you tuck under so that your sit bones start to point towards your calves a little more. And you can feel there's a little glute engagement. You're not squeezing it, but a little tuck is going to have those sit bones draw together. And then again, we inhale as we release through center. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, we release. Exhale, tuck. All right. The other piece of imagery is on the inhale when you're thinking about creating that little bit of space behind your low back in the mat. Look, I can stick my whole hand here. Think about there's a bug that climbs underneath here when your back is lifted. And then as you exhale and you tuck, you want to squish the bug and then continue to press it into the ground a little bit as your pubic bone points towards your nose. Okay, let's just get 2 more. This is just a little warm up of the pelvis and the spine. Last one. Okay, and now if you tolerate flexion, you're going to take your inhale as your prep. Arms can push down into the mat. As you exhale and tuck, we're going to continue to just roll up into our bridge all the way to the top. Take an inhale, and then we're going to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Okay? If your feet are too far away from you, you are going to feel this in your hamstrings a lot. Okay. From the bottom, we take an inhale. Arms press down. Exhale, tuck. We roll up into our bridge. At the top, take an inhale. And then lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. So this movement, we're finding articulation as long as that feels good in your spine. When you tuck and you roll up, we're peeling our spine off the mat 1 vertebrae at a time. And then when we lower down, same thing, 1 vertebrae at a time, so that your butt comes down last. So butt is the first to lift, tuck and lift. Take an inhale at the top. Use the glute muscles to hold your hips up. And then we roll down 1 vertebrae at a time so that your butt comes down last. Okay, when we're lifting, again, with your feet underneath your knees more, it's going to help you get up. We got to use the glutes at the top. If you feel like you're pushing so far that your back is arching, that's not what we want. That is not protecting your spine. So your butt's the first to lift, the last to land. If when you get up to the top, sorry, I'm just going to talk us through what can happen, what to pay attention to. If when you come up here, and then when you start to lower down, your butt goes down first, so your butt's going to touch down first, we're not using your glutes. So when you tuck and you roll up, maintain the tuck of the pelvis. Keep those glutes active. Maintain it, maintain it, maintain it so that your butt rolls down last. It's going to feel much better. Let's hug those knees in. Hug the knees in if you want to roll the knees around a little bit. It's going to massage your low back. Okay. Feet come back down. Arms come down by your side. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, tuck. We're going to meet up at the top of our bridge. Okay, hips are up. We have that long straight line from our knees to our shoulders. And our hips are squared off to the ceiling right now. You're going to go alternating hip dips. So you're going to release your right glute so that right hip drops just a little bit, and then engage the glute to square back off to the ceiling and switch. Release your left glute and engage the left glute. Okay, notice how I'm on purpose making my hips tilt side to side, and we're doing this by isolating our glute muscles. We should be able to release one and engage it at a time. You also want to not have your knees open up so much that you're like totally tapping down to the mat. That's not what we're trying to do. Knees maintain and parallel, and your pelvis just goes side to side. Keep the hips up. Let's get 2 more to each side. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Come back to center. Roll all the way down. Butt still comes down last. Hug those knees in for a second again. Stretch the glutes. Okay, now we're going to look for pelvic stability in this one. So we're going to move into marching, but when we march, we don't want our hips to roll around like we were making them. We want to keep them as quiet as possible. So stay with me, big inhale. Meet me back up at the top of your bridge. We're in that long straight line, and then you're going to lift one leg into tabletop. Set it down and we'll switch. Notice how My hips aren't tilting side to side this time like we were making them do. They are as stable as they can be. Hips stay lifted. Keep breathing. We get 2 more to each side. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. Last set. Once this foot comes down, we roll down all the way to the bottom and hug those knees in again. Give it some love. Okay. We're going to stretch it. So feet come back down, knees are bent. Let's cross our right ankle over our left knee. So we're in a figure 4 stretch. You're welcome to grab behind that left thigh and pull it in a little bit so that we're stretching that right glute. And while you're here, just take a few big breaths. Okay, you're gonna let that left leg go, but we're gonna stay in this same position of the figure 4. We're gonna take a big inhale, and then again, your right ankle is on your left knee, so we're gonna toss both those legs in this shape to the left. Your right hip can lift a little bit. You're gonna feel more stretch in your hip and in your glute. Take a big inhale. Exhale, we come back to center. And then let's switch legs. We go left ankle over our right knee, and we can pick up that right leg to get a little bit more stretch in the glute. Big breaths. All right, let's bring that right foot back down to the mat. Stay in your figure 4 position. Left ankle is on your right knee. Big inhale. And then we toss it to the right to feel that stretch in that left glute, left hip a little more. And your hip can lift. Take a big inhale and exhale back to center. All right. We're going to stay down here. We're going to have our knees bent. We're going to start to work some of the upper abdominals. So let's bring our arms up to the ceiling. Palms face away from us. Shoulders are not reaching. You have a little bit of scapular engagement to the mat, okay? Take a big inhale. We also don't want our back to be arched. So we want to find your neutral pelvis. Take a big inhale. And then as we exhale, we're just going to lower the arms down by our side and curl up into a chest lift. And inhale, we roll back down. And we only want to think about coming up to just the bottom of those shoulder blades, but getting our head up enough so that we can kind of see down towards our belly button. Inhale down, exhale up. Let's go for 3. And if your head feels uncomfortable today, if it feels too heavy, keep your head down and just do the arms, but feel like when your arms are coming down, you can feel your core engage, okay? So this is abdominal work. Otherwise, you're going to meet me with your arms down by your side and you're in that chest lift. You're able to look down at your belly button. You're going to hold that flexion and you're just going to start patting your arms as if you're patting the top of water. And this is our 100, modified 100 with our feet down. And we inhale for 5 and we exhale for 5. So we go inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 2. And last one here, and bring your head down. Take a second if you want to windshield wiper those knees just to get a little reset. Okay, we come back to center, and then we're gonna march our legs into tabletop one at a time. Tabletop, we think hips and knees, again in line with each other. Back is not arched away from the mat. Okay, so you keep your core active, ribs are actively pulling down towards your hips. If this is too much today, do what we just did, okay? This is just progressing into the next level. Just listen to your body, okay? I don't care where you're at. I just want you to be moving. Arms go up towards the ceiling, shoulder blades connect. We're gonna automatically just come up into that chest lift, arms hover down. So this just created more weight on our abdominals, okay? Pat those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. And bring it down. Whew. Take a second. Okay, before we get into the next sets, I want to add a little bit more lower abdominal engagement so that we're nice and warm. Now, we're going to start with our feet down, arms are down by our sides. Find that neutral pelvis, and we don't want your back arched. We don't want these ribs reaching for the ceiling, so think close the ribs together, okay? We're going to start with our feet down, and we march one at a time into tabletop, okay? I'm going to combine these two moves, these two sets together, so you're just going to pick the level that feels good to you. What you want to focus on, not letting your hips roll around. It's not about pulling it up just quick. I want you have that active core. Your pelvis is quiet. It's not moving, okay? Keep here. If this feels hard today, stay here. Keep marching into tabletop. If you feel like, let's see what that next level feels like a little bit, you're going to meet me in tabletop with both of those legs, okay? The shape of my leg is not going to change, but I'm going to toe tap towards the mat and back into tabletop. Inhale as that leg lowers away from you. Exhale back into tabletop. What we're not doing is we're not just bending the knee and tapping the toes straight down. No, go away from you. Shape of the leg does not change. Also, I sometimes get a little clicky in my hips. This is not about tapping the mat. It's not about coming all the way down. It's about feeling this thigh move away from you. It's creating tension in those abdominals. Lowers away, exhale, lift. If there's a point where your hip clicks, just stop right before it's going to click. It's not about tapping the mat. It's about feeling that tension, using your breath to be able to control the movement. And again, pelvis is not moving. Now, you're either still in those marching into tabletop or you've moved on to toe taps. If you need to go back or you want to progress, you have options, okay? Inhale, that leg goes away. Exhale, it comes up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both those feet can come down. You can windshield wiper. Okay. Now, let's also stretch our hamstring for a second. So you're going to lace your hands behind your right thigh. Press the leg away from you so your knee is a little bit more over your hip. Flex the foot. Heel press to the ceiling and back into tabletop. It's not going to feel like your leg wants to go all the way straight, okay? It's going to feel shaky at the top. But toes are to our face so that as we press up, heel press. Heel press. One more. Bring that leg down. Lace your hands behind your left thigh. Push your thigh into your hand so that leg moves away from you. Flex your foot. Heel goes up to the ceiling and tabletop. One leg might feel significantly different than the other. One leg might get straighter than the other. One leg might be less shaky. That's all normal. One more. All right. Now, I wanted to warm up the hamstrings a little bit because this next 100, we're going to stay with the 100. We're going to do one more set. You have options. Again, you can stay with your feet down. You can stay in tabletop, or we're going to do the full 100. And if you're going to do that with me, let's extend the legs. Otherwise, you know where to meet me, okay? Either in with your feet down and you're in your chest lift, or tabletop and you're in your chest lift with the arms down by your side. If you're going to try the full 100, arms are down by your sides, legs are long and straight, okay? We want our low back to connect to the mat, okay? Take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to come into your chest lift, float the arms, pick the legs up off the mat. Our whole body is active, okay? Start to pump those arms. Pump the arms. Same breath. Inhale for 5. and exhale for 5. And if you want to challenge or to increase, you can lift and lower your legs. You can change where your legs hold if you need to. Otherwise, we hold, we keep going. We inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 5. And relax. Reach the arms up over your head. Big stretch if you want to lift your back up off the mat a little bit. Okay. Now, we're going to bring our feet back underneath our knees. And we're going to bring our right arm up to the ceiling. Palm faces like your stomach, okay? Left leg comes into tabletop. And I don't want your back to be arching away from the mat. So keeping your core active, your ribs are pulling down towards your hips. You're going to find an inhale, and as you inhale, you extend the leg, you extend the arm, back doesn't arch. Exhale, it comes back to center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, center. The level of your leg is up to you. The lower to the ground the leg is, the heavier it's going to feel. If you can't keep your low back connected to the mat as your leg extends for the ground, then don't bring it so low. I want you to have that core stable. The only things that move are your arm and your leg. Your trunk should not be moving around. Let's get 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, bring it down. Left arm comes up, palm faces your stomach, right leg in tabletop. Again, back's not trying to arch off the mat. So we inhale, we find length. Exhale back. Inhale. One side might feel significantly stronger than the other. That's okay. 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, bring it down. If you need to windshield wiper those knees for a second, just to reset, always okay. Again, if you need to take a break before I cue them, please take a break. Arms reach for the ceiling, both arms, palms face each other, both legs are in tabletop, okay? Again, we do not want our back to arch. Opposite arm and leg. So, you choose. I don't want to have to call that one out because I feel like it'll be too confusing, but one arm reaches, the opposite leg reaches, and then they come back to center. And then switch, inhale, exhale, inhale. We inhale as we find length, our back's not reaching. Exhale, center. Inhale, we find length. Good. Two more to each side, okay? Last 4. 3. It's a little bit of brain work to get that opposition. Last one. And you can hug the knees in. You can roll around if you want. Okay. Since we're down on the ground, we're gonna go into rolling like a ball so that we can, again, core, but we're gonna work our way up to our seated position, okay? So from our back, hands go to our shins, and you want to, we're not using momentum by like jerking your neck around. No. Also, if you have neck and shoulder issues, don't do this one, okay? We don't need that. But our momentum comes from our core, and we want to think about pushing your shins into your hands so those arms go to straight. What this is doing is creating a like circle of power, okay? So push those shins into the hands, take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your chin and you're pushing your shins into your hands to try to roll up to your sit bones, okay? Arms open out to the sides. Round the spine. Inhale as you roll back. Exhale as you roll up. Try to find the sit bones. Inhale, you roll back. Exhale, you roll up. Try to balance. Now, when you roll back, do not roll onto your neck. We're not breaking our cervical neck, okay? You're rolling to just your shoulder blades. Inhale back. And again, exhale. Arms are straight. They're pulling that power. If you need the momentum, that's where it's coming from. It's not coming from pushing through your neck. But otherwise, it's a nice, easy rock. Let's get 2. Rolling like a ball. Last one. Come up and balance. Okay, rebalance. Back is nice and flat. Pick those feet up a little bit. And if you can, open the arms up. Modified teaser. Can you extend the legs for your full teaser? If you can't, it's okay. We hold for 10. Stay in tabletop otherwise. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come forward. Nice job. Butterfly stretch. Taking a second to yourself. Okay. I'm going to rotate towards you. And we're going to come into a little bit of a mermaid sit. So legs are in zigzag. I have my right leg bent out in front of me so that my shin is parallel to the mat. And my left leg is bent out to the side so that my shin is parallel to the end of the mat. Right arm, you're going to kind of reach it a little far. When I do that, my left hip lifts away from the mat automatically, but you want to try to think about keeping that hip down, okay? So we're not letting it lift up. You want it down as much as you can. Take a big inhale. Left arm opens out. You're going to bend the right elbow so your arm comes down to the mat, and then left arm reaches up and over. Keep that left hip down to feel that stretch on that left side. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to sweep that left arm up, push off the right arm, come up. Left hand comes down. Right arm comes up and over for a counter stretch. You're not going to go nearly as far. And then inhale as we grow tall. Reach that right arm out, bend into the elbow. Left hip is down, up and over with the left arm. Inhale, we come up. Left arm down, right arm up and over. Okay, one more to each side. We come up, we counter stretch. And then come up, let's bring that right hand to the top right corner, and then left hand to the left corner, and we rotate our chest towards the mat. Take a big inhale, and then can you try to lower your chest down a little bit more? You can stack your arms. Your left hip is going to lift. It will lift. But then once it does and you feel comfortable, you want to think about sending that hip back. Can you feel that stretch that's happening a little bit more? Maybe it's just me. I am sore on this side. Okay? And just make sure you're breathing. Inhale, let's come up. Okay? We're going to switch. So, left leg. The shin is parallel to the mat. It's in front of me. Right leg, the shin is parallel to the top of the mat. Left arm opens out a little wide. Right hip is going to want to lift. We push it back down. Take a big inhale. Elbow bends. Bring the forearm down. Exhale up and over. Right hip stays down. Inhale, we push off the left arm to come up. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up and over. Ooh, that side feels good. Inhale, come up. Arm comes down, side stretch. Inhale up, side bend. One more to each side. This also feels really good in my hips. Last counter stretch. Oh, yeah. And then let's come up. Left hand goes to that back left corner, right hand to the front. Rotate your chest towards the mat. Big inhale. And then exhale as you walk out. You can bring your forearms down, stack your head, stack your forearms, your head can rest. Right hip wants to lift, press it away from you a little bit. Feel that stretch. Big breaths. One more big inhale. Okay. we're gonna push ourselves up. Okay. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked it, please be sure to give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things, share it with your friends. And I always have tools to help you get the work that we need, just like that towel trick. So if you have questions, also don't hesitate to leave a comment and reach out, and I'm happy to explain things. Thank you.